going on? Mike D, Hot 106. We are here with the man, Bryce Vine.
Hey.
Yes, sir. So, obviously, we're going to get into some of the music stuff later, but you are familiar with the Northeast. You went to Berkeley, so the Boston area.
Yeah.
So, how does it feel to be back in New England?
I mean, not only did I go to school here, but I have family all over, from Falmouth all the way down to Naples. So, I mean, the whole coast feels like home to me. So it's really cool.
Oh yeah, and we were chatting a little bit, before. You said you had come to Providence a couple times, but you really only went to a couple parties.
I went to one party. I went to Providence one time. I went to a double kegger that my friends brought me to, which I've now learned is a pretty typical thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's fair to say that I can only imagine the area that you were brought to, and I would say it's a pretty accurate depiction of how we do things around here.
Well, it seems
in,
fun.
In the 401. It's definitely a fun time. Absolutely. So you spent some time at Berkeley, obviously, went to college there. Do you think you truly honed the craft of songwriting while in school, or was that something that you developed beforehand?
No. Way after.
Way after?
Way after, yeah. I was still figuring it out when I got to Berkeley, and you're all of a sudden surrounded by all the most talented people in the world, and you're trying to find your place in that. I met the right people at Berkeley for sure. I met my DJ, who is still my DJ, my drummer, who's my drummer now.
The whole songwriting process, meeting people and kind of building that. And now to this point in your career, how would you say you've progressed as far as are you sitting down and like Eminem and writing things on a napkin when you think of something, or is it just kind of something you do over time?
It's kind of, you have to, at a certain point, now I'm at the point where it's more my job than my passion, almost even.
Mm-hmm.
It's always been my passion, but I have to do this to stay living. So
right.
You have to mix it up in different ways. I'll only write if I'm in a session, to keep it fun and exciting, so that I'm looking forward to the next session, and I have all these thoughts that I've been holding on to and things that I've been going through, just so that when I'm in a session, it's fun. I also don't write at home.
Mm-hmm.
I always go to the studio to write, so that I can have a separation between life and going to the studio. There's things that you have to kind of get used to.
Yeah.
But I still love it. That's why I do it.
Exactly. And is there some type of mood that needs to be set? You have certain lighting or candles, or certain people in the room.
It's very much like losing your virginity.
Well,
you have to set the tone.
Oh, I think mine. I don't know if I would want to write a song the way I lost mine, to be honest. Things got a little weird, but regardless.
We should go head over heel into detail on that.
Yeah, we'll save that for another time. After the shots
right.
After the shots, maybe we can talk about that. So that's cool. So do you feel do you have anybody else in the room while you're writing a song, or
Hell
do
yeah.
you get distracted, or?
I mean, sometimes I like to write in the environment that I'm writing about. I'll have my friends over at the house or something like that if I'm writing a song about life in general and all the ways that we progress and screw up and all that stuff. I like to have that environment around. Sometimes if I'm in a bad mood, I just got into an argument with my girl, it's me and my boy in a bottle, and we just write a whole song,
So there's a lot of collaboration in it.
Yeah, I mean, with the right people. I write with maybe on my whole album, I think there's 3 other writers besides me. So, and I work for the same 3 producers. And I like expanding, but it's when you find your people and it works, you don't really need to add anybody else for a while.
Right.
No new friends. As
One famous guy said that before. Why do you think there's a stigma behind that, though? Still, when it comes to songwriting, as far as collaboration, people think, oh, he didn't write that whole thing himself. Why do you feel that there's still a stigma behind that?
I didn't know there was. I mean, to me, I grew up thinking that if you were going to be an artist, you wrote your own songs.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that there was any alternative.
Yeah.
So it wasn't until I got older and found out how many artists don't write their own songs that I realized I could have maybe gotten away with it. But it really gives you a leg up to be able to write stuff. I don't know all the artists that don't write their own songs and stuff like that, but I know that Rihanna has never written a song.
Mm-hmm.
She has an amazing A&R ear, and that's almost harder to do, to pick out songs that other people write based on their own emotions and then make it yours. That's a whole nother game that I haven't practiced.
as far as writing for other people and like kind of.
I mean, I'll write for other people,
Yeah.
but that's me writing my experiences for other people.
Mhm.
I've never tried to take someone else's writing of their whole song and think, oh yeah, this works for me as an artist, what I'm trying to say. And she does it all the time.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
And reinvents herself in the process. So that's even like a tougher game, I think.
It is tough, but there's a reason why they do it for so long. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the reason I brought that up is I feel like your music is just so unique. And the first time I heard Drew Barrymore, we were sitting in my boss's office, and me and one of my coworkers, my friend Nick, we were just listening. We were like, this just sounds so different. You know what I mean? It was refreshing. It really was refreshing.
That is my favorite word to
Yeah.
describe things as. I appreciate it.
It truly was. It really was. And then like you hear it, and it took a minute. You know what I mean? But eventually you got there. When did you feel like it was like really getting there? Drew Barrymore, as far as like.
You mean as far as popularity?
As far as being a hit.
I think when I performed on top of that marquee for VMAs,
That'll do it.
I didn't really have a choice but to be like, oh, this is happening.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I'm living somebody else's life right now. It's crazy. I knew it was a good song. I just didn't know what it was going to be, you know. And then it's because of that success, it made me realize that because I had so much fun working and writing on that. I started the beat one day in my studio, then worked on the lyrics one day, and then the next day, like, it was a process, but it was fun. You know, I was enjoying myself in the studio, and I hadn't been for a while.
Right.
And then once that happened, everything opened up. Now every time I go to the studio, I'm excited to write something and come up with a new song and see what happens that day. You can lose that,
Oh yeah.
you know. I'm sure you guys
It's
lose
like-
your
Yeah.
mojo over coming to work sometimes.
You know, it's just like you said. It's takes sometimes something like a spark or something to kind of give you that extra push, and then it creates a whole new line,
Wave,
just a
yeah.
whole new wave of creativity and artistry, and no matter what it is, no matter what your career is, and it's good to know that kind of sparked that, because now here we are, about over a year later, La La Land, another huge song moving right now with YG. How did that come together?
Me and my buddy JP, who I write a lot of the stuff with, we're literally sitting at his place smoking something, playing an acoustic guitar, and we're kind of like writing jokey conversations about how people talk to each other in LA and like the nightlife and social scene. And then it just kind of started to become an anthem for it, one day at a time. We added drums, then we were like, yo, it'd be sick to get a rapper on this. And YG was my first pick because he represents a whole different side of culture than I do. So I couldn't believe he was down to do it, honestly. I was like...
Well, I mean, he heard the song. It's a contagious song. You know what I mean? It's just the hook. It's almost feels like you're in a dream in a way. You know what I mean? It feels like La La Land sometimes, when you hear it.
It's funny, man. It's just funny seeing from where it started, though, to where it ended up. That trips me out the most.
It must be the whole ride must be trippy for sure. But we love it. We definitely love the
Thanks,
song.
man.
And we're excited for the album, July 26th. Are we sticking to that?
Yeah.
Carnival, we're sticking to July 26th.
As of now.
All
man.
right. So what can we expect?
A lot of songs about different things. I mean, it's not a lot of songs, but each one is about something different. Like, one is about ending a relationship, like, with somebody that's great, but it's like just doesn't work. And then one I wrote after watching an episode of Black Mirror called San Junipero that I just really liked. So I wrote a song about the episode, kind of.
Oh, I can only imagine how that one went. Again, another dream type sequence music.
I don't know. People say my songs make them feel better. Like that's what I hear mostly from fans. And that's cool because music was that for me growing up. That's why I started writing songs. So I think it's just more of that. Like all the songs, I think just make people, they accentuate the good feelings and they decrease the bad ones.
Music was always something like that. Listen, I didn't have the talent to write or perform music, but listening to music was always definitely something that worked.
You made
for
it
me.
work.
Hey, somehow I get to talk about it now, so that works for me. So we're definitely excited about the album. Any collaborations? Anybody else that we might not have known that's coming on the album? Or?
I'm not sure if it's on the album actually, but me and Loud Luxury have a song.
Dope.
Their next single coming out in like a couple weeks.
Dope.
Yeah, it's called I'm Not Alright. It's dope. I'll play it for you.
Yeah,
It's really cool.
I'm looking forward to that.
It's really cool.
Sorry, guys. You'll hear eventually.
Yeah. They probably by the time that they see this.
Potentially. All right, Bryce Vine, hey, thank you so
Dude,
much,
thank
bro.
you,
It was a
bro.
pleasure, man. We're very excited. Carnival, July 26th.
Yeah.
Make sure you go listen to La La Land. Let's get it.